Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. We are CastAway Solutions. We're an on-site waste processing solution to the problem of landfilling organic waste. 40% of all food in the United States goes to waste. What's worse, 96% of that is sent straight to landfill. For restaurant owners like Stephen Terrier, who spend as much as $2,000 to $10,000 a month, or 1% of their revenue, this is a costly problem. As well, we're facing a very pressing soil crisis. As it stands right now, 10 times the amount of topsoil in farms is depleted year over year as is regenerated. For farmers like Steve Rose, this is as well a very costly problem. They spend as much as $400 an acre on average year over year to restore vital nutrients in the soil through fertilizer products. For restaurants and farmers who have razor-thin margins, these costs are the difference between going out of business and staying afloat. So we have a solution. It's this on-site food dehydrator here. It reduces food waste to 10% of the volume. We're then able to remove it from restaurants at 50% of the cost, as normal haulers are able to remove it. We then take it to our vermicomposting facility, where we feed it to our worms. They then upcycle it into a value-added, nutrient-rich fertilizer supplement that can be sold to farms. This increases soil yields and can decrease the need for typical conventional fertilizers by as much as half.
So what does CastAway look like for organic waste generators such as restaurants? CastAway vends the on-site dehydrators or composters, which reduce waste volume by 90%. And then we haul it away for free, thereby creating significant savings for the restaurants. In addition, we provide training and maintenance to make it easy and convenient to use. And with CastAway Solutions, restaurants know that they're contributing to a closed-loop system that their eco-conscious consumers will love. Using our model, our target customer will save an average of $58,000 over 5 years, including the cost of the machine and the cost of operation. We vend the machines at a 15% markup. So what does CastAway look like for the vermicompost customers? So for farmers, they can purchase the CastAway products for the same cost, or in some cases lower than their standard fertilizer. And with our liquid worm tea product, they can apply it directly through existing irrigation systems, reducing costs and increasing ease. For everyone who uses our products, whether it's farmers or gardeners or landscapers, it increases the yield as much as 20 to 25%, and of course has long-term soil health benefits. And so, for farmers, as an example, the average profit is going to increase $1,500 per acre with a 40% increase of gross margins over a 5-year period. CastAway vends the vermicompost product at $1,400 a ton for wholesale and $10,000 per ton to our retail customers, such as Lowe's and Home Depot, who love the fact that CastAway has a closed-loop story that they can bring to their business. And we vend the worm tea product at $2.50 a gallon.
So in the current model for both restaurants and farmers, this is a broken system. Farms actually spend, in the United States, $18 billion a year to try to fertilize their crops. The nutrients that they put in the soil are often not available because the micronutrients that are necessary to uptake those nutrients, they just aren't there. They've been killed off and inoculated from chemical fertilizers and pesticides. The farmers then draw those nutrients out in the food they grow, and they send them off to restaurants, who in turn spend another $19 billion a year sending 40% of all food waste to landfill. When it gets to the landfill, it creates millions of tons of carbon emissions, and it creates no value for farmers or for restaurants. This is a broken business model that is very costly for both farms and restaurants. And the only businesses that benefit from it are the traditional haulers who are taking waste and sending it to landfill. These market inefficiencies, they happen to be CastAway's opportunity. By finding the value that's lost in the value chain, we're able to close the loop and create a virtuous cycle that reinstills value at each and every step. First, we reduce the cost for restaurants by decreasing the volume of the food that they're wasting. We're able to haul it away at no expense to them. We then take and we turn it into a value-added micronutrient fertilizer that we're able to sell to farms and increase their production, their yields, and also decrease their fertilizer needs. At each and every step of the value chain, we're able to create value for CastAway, for farms, and for restaurants. Through closing the loop, we're able to essentially increase the health of our food system.
As far as implementation, we're ready to go. We have statements of intent from 6 Bay Area restaurants. We also have an agreement with Laughing Dog Farms in Kentwood, California to site a vermicomposting facility. We also have an agreement with an existing vermicomposting retailer to piggyback off their OMRI and CDFA organic certifications, which will allow us to tap into the organic wholesale and retail compost markets immediately. The same vermicomposting company has generously donated hundreds of pounds of red wigglers to our operation. So we stand before you today, ladies and gentlemen, and proudly announce we've got worms. Perhaps most importantly, we have customers. We have farmers and vineyard managers who want to buy our product. For our restaurant customers, we will target large establishments such as hotels, hospitals, casinos, and resorts that generate 1,000 pounds or more of organic waste daily, are within a 75-mile radius of our operations base, and operate in jurisdictions where hauling costs exceed $115 per cubic yard. We've identified over 2,000 such generators in the Bay Area. By year 5, we'll be hauling 1,500 tons of organic waste from over 60 generators and creating $3.5 million in annual revenue from equipment sales. For our vermicompost customers, we'll target large and small plot, conventional and organic farming operations that exceed $10,000 in annual revenue. We've identified over 4,600 of these farms in the Bay Area that encompass 600,000 acres of arable farmland. On the retail side, we'll sell our product at farmers markets in the Bay Area, where there are over 140 weekly farmers markets. And by year 4, we'll be selling our bagged product on the shelves at Lowe's and Home Depot. By year 5, we'll be selling to over 200 farmers and over 100,000 retail customers and generating $9 million in annual revenue from vermicompost sales.
So CastAway has 2 revenue streams. 28% of our revenue comes from brokering the sale of equipment to our waste generators. We've already secured partnerships with 2 potential lenders that are willing to finance the equipment. The other 72% of our revenue comes from the sale of high-quality vermicompost products. Our revenue model breaks even midway through year 2 after our initial pilot phase. I bet you didn't think worms were that profitable. To get started, we're going to take $10,000 of our own capital to establish a minimum viable product at Laughing Dog Farm in Kentwood, California. That's going to take about 2 to 6 months while we prove our concept, at which point we're going to seek an angel round of $500,000, and we're going to use that for our startup operations. We're distributing that in convertible and straight debt notes, and we're going to use it to buy equipment, trawlers, trucks, worms, worm bins. Actually, not the worms, because we have the worms. After which point, we'll be paying that back in 3 years or break even, whichever happens first. After that, we're going to seek an A round of $1 million to deepen our market penetration and expand our operation. So CastAway, like any business, is not without risks. First is being priced out of the market by haulers or other consumers of our vermicomposting products, like livestock farms or anaerobic digesters. But fortunately, we haul the waste away for free, and we ultimately hope to provide a 10% payment to our waste generators. Another risk is feedstock scarcity. But we mitigate that risk by designing a nimble supply chain with a diverse supply of feedstock for our worms, including wet waste and conventional compost. The next risk is equipment, being short on equipment supply or not being able to procure equipment. But fortunately, there's 4 internationally established vendors that were able to use their equipment to fulfill our value proposition. And finally, there is a risk of a lengthy sales cycle, which is why we've partnered with high-profile early adopters like celebrity chef Stefan Terje, and we've partnered with high-profile consultants to educate farmers about the benefits of vermicompost.
So our vertically integrated solution tries to tackle a lot of thorny issues, and essentially consists of 3 distinct businesses: equipment sales, hauling, and vermicompost sales. We have the right team to turn this idea into a thriving enterprise. I'm Trevor Blythe. I have over 8 years' experience as a solid waste management consultant. Lindsey Kugel has built 2 startups. David Stripling has extensive experience with project development and business development, and Burke Pemberton has over a decade of experience in restaurant operations. For our board of advisors, we've tapped William O'Toole, a 35-year veteran of the sustainable solid waste management industry, and John Bierman, who has a successful track record of operating vermicomposting facilities in Southern California. So we have the land, we've got the worms, we got the team, and we have an idea that will change the way we look at organic waste. With your investment, we will scale our operations to the Greater Bay Area and take organic waste from table to farm and back. We are at CastAway Solutions. Thank you.